So thank you, Grace of Heaven, Grandmasters, predecessor, transmitters, lecturers, and all of you for this opportunity to learn to speak on this topic today. And we are speaking about Dao and religion. So, well, all of us here were able to receive the Dao because of our introducer, and who brought us to the this person brought us to the temple. Okay, another person stood for us as a guarantor who guaranteed our character, and which enabled us to receive this blessings that we call the Tao. We are able to receive the Tao because also we had some sort of affinity. So, because normally if a person don't have that affinity, sometimes we speak in vain and we'll never get them to come to the temple. Sometimes they do come, but when they get here, because of this lack of affinity, it's difficult for that person to actually go to the altar to kneel and receive the blessing. So the affinity is also very important with while you have a guarantor and introducer and a guarantor to receive the Tao. So because of that, when we have this affinity, there is something special about having that affinity. What this affinity wants us to be able to overcome this prajna, keeping us away from, like the first lecture this morning, we were speaking about this story. Lecture Kai spoke about the gentleman who was on the machine, and the defibrillator was working on him, and he seen himself going downwards into hell. And so this is what one of the main things that we as cultivators are trying to overcome, so we don't get into that thing and we could overcome that transition, because none of us wants to come back to this earthly realm again. So the Tao and our cultivation is very important. So since we have this affinity and we receive the blessings, and have the fundamental thing about this wisdom is all inside the Tao. So what is Tao? Is Tao a religion? So to truly answer this question, we have to know or discover what is our divine nature or Buddha nature, because if we don't understand what this divine or nature or Buddha nature is, it might be a little difficult to understand what the Tao is actually teaching us. So our divine or Buddha nature is embedded in the truth, which is the Tao. To find the true answer, right, it's all in the laws that are handed down to us, and from these laws we learn and understand the omnipotent source of that which cannot be seen, touched, named, described, and this source is called Tao. Tao is a path or way. In most English translation, the capitalized form, so you say capitalized because all of us humans are like, also we could say God with a small g. So you say in the capitalized form, the big G, meaning this is true or the real God, our one and only God. The way of or Tao is used to distinguish it from other usage or terms. Tao is said to be the beginning of all things. Tao, the creation involves a process of differentiation from the unity to multiplicity. Tao itself cannot be named. Tao gives birth to one. One gives birth to two, and two gives birth to three. The essence of Tao is quiet. When it is quiet, motion comes into being. Heaven and earth is created. That is why one gives birth to two, and two gives birth to three, and 10,000 things. Now, these 10,000 things is again up, can be left for interpretation. What are the 10,000 things? It can be all the sentient beings on earth. It could be anything that we can see and touch. When heaven and earth and mankind, the three powers or the cosmos are established, all things flourish in accordance with God's will. That is why three gives rise to everything. Everything means is created by heaven. Nothing. Yes, we have lots of creators on earth. We saying humans create this and create that. But if we really look at all the things that are there, there is always someone who did this or that sometime before. So most of the time something is created, it's because it's just like a modification. Something is just a little better than what it was before. In modern terms, minus the language of yin and yang cosmology, this translates into an understanding of Tao as an absolute entity which is the source of the universe. Tao is the conscious reality of all that exists. Tao is that which exists, a non-visible phenomena, yet Tao can be seen in all that is good. All the unexplained marvelous things in the universe. Those things do not happen just like that. People, humans, us, we have to have this good nature. This is what we call the divine nature, to do all these good things, because without it, we will not see these good things happen. It is natural for us humans to question that which is true, that which is divine. Even today, in this white period, the creation of the cosmos is questioned more than ever. Tao is questioned. Most times, when you try to speak about the Tao, the question would always be, is Tao a religion? So we say Tao is mysteriously formed, born before heaven and earth, in the silence and the void, standing alone and unchanging, even ever present and in motion. A scientist will say, that's not so true, because they can't see, because they have to see and touch things to say this is real or this is unreal. But creation is God's work. Tao is invisible and intangible. Tao has been in existence before language, culture, religion, literature, and before civilization were developed. Tao exists before the formation of all. Yet was not forward, which means that creation was embedded in it. Tao merges into creation, yet it is not later, which means it is not therefore limited. Among these creation, heavens, however large, they can be measured. However small, they can be detected. So if we look at the weather, we say today the weather men will say it's going to be a bright and sunny day. But then maybe 4 or 5 hours afterwards, what's happening? Rain's falling. Alright, so it is difficult for us humans to understand how these things happen, but because it's all heaven's will. In the Tao, all things flow from creation, so any interpretation of Taoism should begin with classical Taoism. In philosophical roots and texts, Tao is not a religion. It is the source and the root of all religions. Before Heavenly Mother dispatched her children into this earthly realm, human world, to spread her sacred word, Tao existed. There was a heaven and there were people in it. So, and because of our Heavenly Mother's love for her children and seeing the need, so that's how these sacred people or Buddhas were dispatched to the earthly realm to spread the religion. So, religion, if you understand what is being said, that it all came from heaven. So, and every religion that there is came out of the Tao, is part of the Tao. So, like you say, it's a tree, so naturally the trees have branches. So, every religion is part of the Tao. So, if we are saying, trying to understand what it is, then there can be no religion without the Tao. So the Tao exists, it is a form, the source that the five founders could develop, the five religion, the mystical reading. There is a Tao, which language cannot describe. To describe the inherent, is unable to express clearly or on its face. So one cannot say this religion is better than, at least not cannot say, but should not say this one is better than the next, because it's, how could you look at a tree and say one leaf is better than another? Or if you have a plant and you bearing fruit, every fruit on that tree will have the same taste because it's all coming from the same source. So it's just like the religion. Yesterday, if you go to one of those churches, everyone is preaching something different. But if you listen thoroughly, you will hear they all are saying the same thing, but just in a different way. But because of the way it's conducted, it's difficult to understand because they're not using the words that we actually would like to hear. So any name that can be named is not a constant name. The Tao that can be spoken of is not the Tao. In the beginning, the cosmos is a void without any form or substance. However, there exists an indescribable, abstract, difficult to explain energy without the beginning or an end. That energy is even ever-changing and continually self-rejuvenating. So, it's like a wheel. The wheel is spinning and there is no machinery to say, well, this machine is making the wheel go. So, because there is the Tao. So the Tao is there and all these religions are going, and one do not know how these things keep going and going because it has a root. So, like you water your plant and the plant grows, or you plant a seed and the seed into the earth, and once you take care of it, it germinates and it starts spreading out. It spreads and it spreads. And some plants, you know that some plants, you have a plant and after the winter, when the winter comes, the plant, it's like it disappears, but as the spring comes, that plant springs back up again. Alright, so again, it's just to say how important this Tao is. It's hard to describe it because the plant just comes back up without any help. So the Tao is always there. So don't mind what happens, the Tao would always be present. So this energy creates billions of galaxies, stars, and solar system. It also created billions of life forms on Earth, including humans, animal, plants. All things we see is the manifestation of Tao. So, we speak about creation. If we believe in creation, we must believe in Tao. So, everyone here knows of Walt Disney, and he once said, when we believe in a thing, we believe in it all the way, implicitly and unchanged and unquestionable. So if you believe in something, why would you have questions, doubting questions, because you believe in that thing? Do you agree? I guess not. Yeah, okay. It was written in the Holy Bible, in the book of John. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was God, or Tao. The book of John explains how the heaven and earth was created in 6 days in the likeness, beauty, and specification of Tao. Naturally, it didn't say Tao in the Bible, but we understand that's what it means, because just in case anyone is wondering why did I say that, and that's not what the Bible says. But remember, the Bible was written by a human, and if just to let you know that the author was not really a Christian, so to speak. All right, is that right? Correct, Kai? Right? Constantine, right? He wasn't a Christian. He was right. Roman, right. Yeah, so convert, right. Okay. So the book of John explains how the heaven was created in the likeness and beauty, and all that creation. And guess what? After it was created, the Creator looked at all these things and said, "It is good." Alright, so if all this creation is good, how could us human now try to destroy it? There's no way we'll be able to destroy God's creation. So before the universe existed, before the creation of humans, Tao existed, because everything there in this universe was created by Tao. It is what it is. Humans cannot change it because it is divine. When we look through the pages of history, the memories of things past and all natural and unnatural disaster that has took place throughout the world, the universe remained as it was created. Okay. So this earthly realm created by God, the essence, therefore, it cannot be destroyed by human. God's essence cannot be touched. It cannot be described or destroyed because there was nothing before it. One cannot describe it because there was and is no definitive name for it. Tao is a name given to the source. This Tao was first given a name for identification, since it cannot be truly described. It was Lao Tzu who called it Tao. Therefore, the essence of Tao is the foundation of all that exists and in of nature. Tao is unchangeable. Tao does not resolve with time. Tao is truth. Tao is love. Tao is everything that is good. Do you understand? See, Lao Tzu said to regard the fundamental as the essence, to regard things as coarse, to regard accumulation as deficiency, and to dwell quietly alone with the spiritual and the intelligent. Herein lies the techniques of Tao and of the ancients. This slide. Show this slide. The next one? Yeah, this slide. No, the video. So let's look at a little video about creation. created. Remember last time I didn't look it up, but to clarify. But anyhow, it passed. I hardly believe anybody saw it. side. Okay, so after seeing all of that, I'm sure you understand how that everything there in creation, how important those things are, and could not have been done by any humans. So, now the question is, what is religion? So, religion have been a controversy since ancient time, because before I speak of religion, I will first speak of the historical timeline. This principle of order is also paramount to some of the world's oldest religions still being practiced today. As most of us know, that written history is only approximately 5,000 years old, the age of formal writing. A lack of written record result in the fact that the most of the knowledge about prehistoric religion is derived from archaeological records and other indirect source and suppositions. Much prehistoric religion is subject to continued debate. One such religion is known to adhere to eternal Dharma order, although often viewed as a polytheistic faith. It is monotheism. Although eternal Dharma is thought one of the world's oldest religions, there are others that have been around a long time as well. Judaism, Taoism, Buddhism, Islam, and Jainism are religions that are still being practiced today. Those who know do not say. Those who say do not know. In the Dao, we have transmitters and lecturers and so forth. But in the Dao, there is something we call a mandate. Alright? And for one person to be able to transmit this Dao, they have to get this mandate. And the mandate in the Dao comes from heaven. While religion, their mandate comes from humans. So today, in the past, it was not so, because the founders of religion, they all were sent directly from heaven. So, but today, all religions have their mandate from other humans. So the five founders of religion, Lao Tzu, Buddha, Confucius, Muhammad, and Jesus Christ, were all holders of the Tao and its secret. Due to the preciousness of Tao, they made references in their poems, quotations, and proverbs and sutras, and in the Bible, Quran, and other religious books. The five major religions: Taoism, which teaches non-motivational action, non-doing, is an important aspect of Taoism that literally means non-action or non-doing. In the Tao Te Ching, Lao Tzu explained that being or phenomena that are wholly or in harmony with the Tao behave in a completely natural, uncontrived way. And Confucianism teaches humanity, reciprocity, the importance of reciprocity, and the mutual responsibility of one person for another. is essential to the understanding of the 5 basic human relations suggested by Confucius. In Buddhism, it teaches compassion. One is not called noble who harms living being. So I should say that again. In Buddhism, it teaches compassion. That means one is not called noble who harms living beings. By not harming living being, one is called noble. In Christianity, it teaches brotherhood. The Christian brotherhood is a movement of men and women following Jesus Christ and living the way of true Christian brotherhood. In Islam, it teaches purity, righteousness. You cannot attain righteousness unless you spend in charity. Out of those things, do not ascribe purely to yourself. Allah knows best who is righteous. So Tao is the original source and of all religion. Religions arise from affinity and conditions. The term Tao was first used by Lao Tzu because the omnipresence of God, to give God the recognizable name. Lao Tzu called it Tao. Tao is written and surrounding us, within and surrounding us. Yes.
Christ become Christianity, and where's the Judaism?
Say that again.
How did
Jesus Christ.
Well,
Christianity. Well, early on I said because it's a conversion where Constantine. I think in those early days where you had religious persecution, and because he was, well, famous or well-known, rich and all that stuff, so I didn't want to think, because what really happened to is all the people who were following Christianity, most of them were women, all right? And if you can remember from written history where they were getting rid of the women by calling them witches and so forth. So, and then Constantine had to do this transition, and that's how the Holy Bible was actually written. So because, and then Judaism sort of went on the wayside because now the Christian became like a majority.
The witches were the Jewish women?
Well, all women were persecuted because they were very, let's say, dedicated or righteous. So, and they were spreading the teachings more than anything else. Yeah, yeah.
Would that be Jew?
Well, yes. Yeah.
Well, I mean, well, because his teachings kind of, some of it was not the same as the Judaic teachings, right? I mean, he was kind of brought up in there. I mean, he learned from them, but then later on, his teachings were not really, and that's why those, I don't know what you call the, not the rabbis, but the Pharisees. I mean, they didn't like what he was saying. So, yeah. And so, it wasn't exactly the same. I mean, because the Pharisees, I mean, the Jews at the time, and they followed the ancient traditions, right, passed down.
Yeah.
But, so what Jesus is talking about, kind of, some of those, he didn't really follow that, so.
Basically Jesus believed that salvation is not done through teaching, traditional teaching means, like the Pharisees. Because the Pharisees are very rigid, and then Jesus basically taught that salvation is through compassion, those ideals. So that's kind of like it's contrary to the Jewish tradition, which is basically the Talmud and belief in you have to it's rigid. It has strata, layers of society. So like only certain people are eligible, and Jesus' view is not that. And so, and Jesus' view is more transcendental in the sense that it's not so much about the social status surrounding, whereas the traditional Jewish is more of that. Okay, so that's where it's kind of contrary.
Belief, like when you say belief, like when somebody asks, do you believe in God? And I think, I was saying this to my friend today, people think they really ask a question when they ask, do you believe? But I don't know how belief, isn't it like something that's like just a...
It's a feeling.
knowingness
It's a it's a consciousness.
it's not really a belief.
Yeah, you can believe
Yeah.
in doctrines, you can believe in certain
so-
things. I mean, but yeah, ultimately, maybe it starts, well, for some people it's a belief, but there's a difference between belief and faith. Okay, so faith is really there's some internal, there's this conviction inside. I mean it's you can't explain it. I mean, but there's something that you feel like that's this is real, or it's true, or whatever that you can follow, right? So it's more than just a belief. Belief is so I don't know. I mean, because you can believe. Well, then there's also blind faith. That's something else. But that's just blindly believing in something, and just whatever people tell you or whatever, you just follow whatever. So that's belief. Yeah, I don't know how else is to say it, but faith is, there is something kind of inside that you kind of, like you said, it's kind of something you kind of know, or you have a strong feeling about.
You can say faith. Okay, the true faith is innate. It's not based on external. Okay, belief usually is based on some kind of external. Okay, the Diamond Sutra addressed this, like Buddha talked Shukruti in later chapters, but that's okay. That's okay. Diamond Sutra talked about it, but usually when we say belief, it's in something. It could be an ideology. So it's all form. It's all form. Okay, so belief is not. It's not real. It's not true. Because if the forms don't exist, then you have no belief. Okay, so no ideology. So we gotta be careful. So faith is a little bit different. Okay, there is blind faith, and then also there's faith based on the belief. There's that too. So that's not real. That's not. In other words, it's not the core. It's not true. That's why it's not true. The true faith comes from your. You can say your Buddha nature. That awareness, that realization. Maybe that's a better term. That realization. So when Jesus realized, so his faith is unshakable, because his faith or belief, you can say, it's not based on any belief, any concept, any ideology, or any form. You get it? So that's why you can have unshakable, you can say, faith, because it's that realization, that self-awareness, that realization that, you have this indescribable thing, indescribable essence, being, Buddha nature, whatever, okay? That's the true faith. Because everything else depends on something, and therefore that's unreliable. Because that depends on something. That something could change, or could not exist, or may not exist. Could exist, or may not exist.
Yeah.
So that's why, okay?
Yeah.
The difference between Islam and Judaism, is it Islam also kind of like that?
No,
rigid,
it's rigid. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of
They still
laws
follow.
or
Yeah.
You can say that.
Yeah.
A lot of
See-
rules set up a human being later on.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
in the, all these religion leaders came
Based
up
on
in the beginning.
interpretation.
It was not.
It was not. No.
See, it's based on interpretation.
And
Yeah.
human, all those over 2,000 years, human beings.
That's
sense.
Yeah.
all different a little bit. You can see human being, even religion, they explain differently from person to person or
That's
from
based on
religion.
interpretation.
Yeah.
But all these leaders came out originally, they was based on Dao originally. But that's why they received Dao too. But they don't all those disciples keep coming out, right? And then all the book are wrote by human beings, right? But not by those religion leaders originally. So that's so you can see, even all the religion leaders, they all received Dao in the beginning, okay? Old days. And all those, they don't, there's people write a book, even all those religion leaders, the book come out of the religion leaders. It's not before that, right? So it's always coming out later on. So you can see religion is good things that people believe in religions. But unfortunately, religion is still, we still need to cultivate so many lifetimes. It's gradually cultivation. So at the end, the person, we want to transcend the reincarnation between the person and then they still have to receive out at the end. Yeah.
So the Torah is not up there. Like the book from Islam is there, the Bible is there.
These are like from the red era. So
The latter,
Yeah.
the latter period.
The latter.
religions. I mean, there are other religions like Hindu.
the
which
more
is
earlier,
Yeah.
earlier.
But then there, I could go even further than that. I could
Yeah.
go to the Babylonian period.
Yeah.
I could go to the Persian period, you know, the
Yeah.
Nebuchadnezzar and all
Yeah.
those people. I mean,
They-
I could go to
yeah.
the Egyptian period.
Yeah,
Or you could go to Stonehenge.
yeah.
I mean, come on. I mean, so
Yeah.
there are all religions.
A lot,
I mean,
yeah.
they're all, yeah. I mean,
See,
Why are
it-
these chosen? These only?
because these are the ones that are more apparent nowadays
Oh.
or widely practiced. I mean, it's not true. I mean,
Yeah.
Judaism is
Yeah.
widely practiced. Hinduism is too. But you can say Judaism. I mean, and you know, Christianity is an offshoot of Judaism.
Judaism,
Called
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Consider it that way.
Yeah,
You know.
We call five
fine,
main,
yeah,
main
yeah.
religions.
Yeah,
I mean,
but
that's just
so
There are
bas-
others, of course.
basically
So
Christianity,
like how actually is like a principle for the all the religions. For the people going to the church, they always say, "Oh, we are the God, our God is the only God."
well, yeah,
So how
yeah,
explain to them for
they
this
say that,
God?
yeah, yeah. But because it's again, we say it's interpretation because see, and earlier remember, see, the transmitter have heaven's mandate. Churches, because I read a lot the Bible and I can quote a lot of scriptures and so on. I practice, so they make me a minister. That don't mean that I understand, right? So this is how it works there. So that's why they're saying,
Actually, you give some material. Because a lot of people, you know, in the church, and then we try to ask them to receive towels. They have bundles,
big, yeah,
and they, you know, and all we even tell them, you know, we have true a principle behind the cross or something.
Yeah.
No, we don't talk about
see,
these
you
things.
see, but that goes back to her question about belief, right? Yes. See, like I like to say, most of the times, everybody believe in God, even the atheists, right? And you only find that out when we have a disaster. What happens? Everybody's running to churches and whatnot to look, then to get help or look for salvation then, when it's too late. So that's what churches preach. See, so then it's like faith that is blind. So you're just following anything these preachers are saying, and they don't understand. Because most of them, the way that they live outside of the church is totally different to when they're in the
So
church.
you went to church before, now you're in house practice. So maybe you know between both of them was different. For us, you know,
Yeah.
how is like one principle, it's like the roots,
Yeah.
it's like
Because it's inside, it's not so much on the outside. Yeah.
They are very
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, yeah. The problem with some hardcore, religious. I mean, Christians, Muslims also. When we say Dao also implies God too, even though it's not specifically point out to that. But when we say, or to explain to that, people say, oh, don't you believe in a God? You can say, yeah, we also believe in God. But the God is indescribable. God is indescribable. Your description of God is only your interpretation.
Yeah.
It's only your understanding. So how is your understanding more correct than another person's understanding? You cannot say.
Yeah.
You cannot say. So that's not important. So that's not the most important thing about about the Tao. The Tao is more about what is within all of us.
Yeah.
That all of us want to go back to where we originally came from. You can say, yeah, God. We originally came from God. You can say that too. But the question is how. So it's more a question of how, not so much the theoretical or the what's that what's that term? There's a term that talks about that we talk about God.
And also they may refuse the stage also.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
say
yeah.
stage, oh, no, that's not for me, it's the wrong way yet. So for this teaching, how to explain to them,
Yeah,
see
they're-
how,
different. Some people in some branch of Christianity, they don't believe they don't believe in idol worship. Muslims
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Muslims do. So they say, you want me to? You say you believe in God, the same God as my God? Oh my God, same God as my God, or So fine, but then you tell them, oh, you have to go cut off. They say, oh no.
Yeah, because,
So there are different difficulties, different obstacles for different people. Some people don't mind. Some like Catholics, they don't kneel before the cross because they kneel before Madonna. They kneel before. So that maybe they will be less opposed to kneeling before altar. So there are different different difficulties for different people.
That's why it came back to here. Holy teacher always said affinity. Affinity is not mature enough yet. They will not
for you
receive
to
that.
receive the doubt.
It's not because people have to cultivate. We say people have to cultivate 3 lifetimes before this life, at least, before they can receive Tao. So when the affinity is not mature enough, until now, they will not be able to receive Tao. That's why Holy teacher always,
will be unwilling.
they always keep influence. I think in Ohio, even last year or the year before, they tell us all the time. We try to bring people, say, how can this person don't come in? Only come in one day for example, not today. He said, affinity is not mature enough yet. Unfortunately, that's what
I know time is up, but can someone quickly explain to me why Hinduism is not there? Being that is so popular, does it come under Islam?
Buddhism is an offshoot of Hinduism. You can say that. You can say that. But unfortunately, a lot of Buddhist teachings. I mean, one of the core teachings of Buddhism is against Hinduism. Because Hinduism is similar to Judaism. Believes in caste system. Only certain people, the Brahmins, are eligible to have salvation.